I had a number of teachers who inspired me along the way, but one that really stands out was Dr. Marcus Orr, professor of ancient history at Memphis State University. He was one of the most knowledgeable, insightful, interesting and challenging professors that I ever had in my life.
The teacher who has most impacted my life would be Major James Woodson. He is our junior ROTC instructor. He encourages all of his cadets to use their core values every day. Our core values are integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. He also brings out potential in students that they didn't know they had. I was one of them.
A person that has impacted my life would be my 4th through 8th grade merit teacher, Ms. Victoria Dionellis. She has made me to be the young, mature professional that I am today. She has taught me how to strive for the best, and she pushed me to excel and do my best in everything that I do, and I thank her for it.
My favorite teacher, which is my math teacher, Ms. Fennessy, she teaches me things that I would need later on in life.
Mr. Hudson is my language art teacher. He's my favorite teacher because he helps me break down the word and understand the meaning.
Mrs. Buchanan because she always tells me to do right when I know I'm doing wrong.
Miss McGill is my favorite teacher because she teaches me art and the value of art and comparing and contrasting of the value of light.
My favorite teacher is Mr. Luke. He was my junior high school teacher back in the mid-60s down in Neshoba Central High School down at Philadelphia, Mississippi. He taught me to be inquisitive, he taught me to ask questions, and he taught me to question things that didn't make a lot of sense.
I picked Miss Scott because she impacted me the most by giving us research papers, and I feel like that helped us prepare for college.
Miss Weigel has impacted me the most because she always lets us work with hands-on stuff and she's always challenging us.
I'd have to say Miss Allen because she's taught me for 3 years and she's taught me a lot. She has taught me many of my skills I've learned about leadership and study skills. I also like the way she leaves room for discussions in her every day during her class. And I love open room discussion.
My favorite teacher is Miss Heather Dees because she taught me 7th grade English, and even though it was in the morning, she made it fun to get into learning, and English is a very fun subject, but she made it so that we could all do activities and keep it in real life and stuff like that.
My favorite teacher is Miss Rollins. She's my favorite teacher because she's funny, warm and welcoming, and I always feel accepted in her class. So that way I never feel embarrassed or anything in her class. And she always encourages me to study for tests and not fail them.
My favorite teacher is Miss Betsy Ellis because she gives us activities to do with each lesson that we have, and she related her lessons and gave us experiments to relate us to later life and college.
The most influential teacher that I had was Ruth Webb, and she taught me in elementary school. She was the best teacher when it came to reading out loud. She read Brer Rabbit and the Tar Baby with such excitement. But the full circle moment that I had with Miss Webb was when she came to my 4th grade class and she read that same story to my students, and so that was just a great full circle moment that I had in my teaching career.
It would have to be Mr. Joblin because he showed me from a career aspect, if you're really passionate and you love what you do, you're going to do a good job at it, and it's not going to matter about any money you make. It's going to matter about how happy you are in the end.
If I had to choose a favorite teacher, it would definitely be Ms. Malone. Not only is she a selfless person, but she also genuinely cares about her students' well-being. Academic-wise, Ms. Malone is the greatest chemistry teacher there is.
My favorite teacher is my 5th grade teacher, Miss Garrett, because she called my parents when I was doing well in school, and she just seemed really interested in my education.
I've loved all my teachers, but this year my favorite teacher is Miss Davis because she's funny and strict at the same time.
Miss Emily Magaha is my favorite teacher because she has impacted my life since I had narcolepsy last year. She would let me take naps when I needed them, and she would let my friends write notes for me when I was asleep. I love me some Emily Magaha.
My favorite teacher is Miss Speidel because she teaches reading and I love to read. It is really fun.
Growing up, I had several great teachers that impacted my life, and I see it every day. When I'm writing loan narratives at the bank, I think about my English teacher that I had that taught me about writing and the proper way to phrase sentences. I also think about, though, probably the best teacher I had was my chemistry teacher growing up. I could just see the passion in his eyes when he was teaching us, and I never forget, he always called everybody by their last name. And I remember him telling me one time, me and my best friend got into trouble, and he looked at us and he said, "Sanders," he said, "you and Jewel, you're outstanding students, outstanding in the hall. Get on out there." So we were standing in the hall here in the high school, and here comes the principal down the hall looking at us, and he goes, "What are you boys doing here?" In unison, we said, "We're outstanding students," standing in the hall. But, you know, so many great teachers have touched my life, and I wouldn't be where I am without them.
The teacher who's made the biggest difference on my life would be my math teacher, Miss Walker. I've had her for 3 years, and I've never been the best math student, but she never fails to go out of her way and work with us one-on-one to make sure that we reach our full potential.
Miss Pat Purdue, who teaches English here, she really pushes the kids and helps us think outside the box and gets us ready for college.
My most impactful teacher would be Miss Springer because she has helped me to succeed, and she made me feel safe in the classroom.
My most impactful instructor would have to be Miss Murphy because she taught me that no one's perfect, and it's not the perfect things about a person that make a great person, it's the imperfections.
My favorite teacher was Miss Sally. She was my third grade teacher, and my family had just immigrated to America. So she was the one teacher that made me feel so comfortable and so welcome and embraced me. I remember that third grade to this day, and what a memorable, wonderful lady she was.
I think all the teachers here at Emmanuel are very great, but I would have to say the one that has impacted me the most would be Miss Riles, who is our junior and senior year English teacher. She just does a good job of instilling values in you and teaching you English in a different way, teaching you writing skills which prepare you for college, and being positive in the classroom.
My most impactful teacher is Miss Duncan. She always pushes us to do our best, and she never lets us quit. She has high expectations for us and really strives for us to do our best and to get us into college.
Miss Halsey, because she makes learning fun and information easy to understand, and she helps us learn educational review games for big test or quizzes.
Mrs. Vittles, because she is my mom.
The teachers that made the most impact on me while I was in school, I vividly remember Miss Henderson and Miss Kepner were my gifted teachers in elementary and in middle school, and they challenged me in ways that I had never seen before, and even at a very young age made me aware of opportunities that I wouldn't have known about, and not only made me aware of those opportunities, but pushed me to take advantage of every single thing that I could and to try every single thing that I could, because if you don't try, then you never know.
She makes me feel at home in school because I have everything I need to do to be able to do school and to do it right, but I'm still around all my siblings and my family. So it's like being at home. Well, I am at home, but I still have stuff that I use in school for my school, and I can do my school right because of the stuff that I have.
My favorite teacher is Paul Lewis. I had arrived at a new school in the 11th grade, and he gave me a passion for reading and writing. He was a history teacher, and he loved it. He breathed it, and he modeled it. Not only was he an inspirational, motivational teacher, he modeled everything that he did through his life. He was an award-winning swimming coach, award-winning rowing coach, and an author of nonfiction history texts. High school reunion is just outstanding to see him. He had that same passion, had written a couple more books by that time. So Paul Lewis stands as my inspiration for education.
My impactful teacher is Mrs. Clark because she teaches me to be organized and tells me what I need to know,
and make sure I'm self-independent.
My most powerful teachers are Miss Stafford and Miss McCafferty because they helped me during my studies and hard tests.
The two teachers that had the greatest impact on my life are Mickey Linder. He's a teacher and coach in Tupelo, Mississippi. He was my middle school basketball coach, and he taught us so much about life. The other teacher I'd like to talk about is Mrs. Courtney Standback at Columbus High School. As her supervisor, I would oftentimes go inside her classroom and just forget that I was a supervisor. I became a student. She found a way to make every single student in her classroom feel special, and she took their minds around the world in that 50 minutes that she had them each day. Students had no boundaries in her classroom. She made them feel special. Thank you, Coach Linder. Thank you, Ms. Standback.
Teacher that I've had the most impact with would be Courtney Standback, because she's taught me to really love language and step out of my comfort zone and be able to think in new ways.
My teacher who had the most impact on me is Mary Jane Smith because she really enjoys her job. She loves literature. She is a God-driven woman, and she really inspires me in many different ways.
Miss Shannon Robertson, because she has really put an interest in me within math, but math has not really been my favorite subject, but this year she has really rooted me with math, and so I'm actually learning something this year.
Mr. Lee Riley, he has been my favorite teacher because he has really made learning for me fun by making these problems and turning them into things that a young 13-year-old's mind can really relate to.
My favorite teacher is Miss Miller because she makes sure I understand all the questions on my test.
My favorite teacher is named Mrs. Jones because she gives us lots of good information and good specialties.
My favorite